Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in time space. You have found your way here. Welcome to the Dreaming Temple. So, this is kind of an experiment for me, more or less. Welcome, guys. There aren't very many biofield tuners who show up on YouTube and offer this type of work in this way. Last month was my first time doing that, and it was very intense, very intense. It was intense because I was not only, excuse me while I situate my mic. Welcome, guys. I was not only doing what I've done a million times, which is a group session, tapping into the collective energy, the collective hologram of a group of people. And I have plenty of experience in that. I have very good energetic hygiene, and I do all my cleansing practices and protective bubbles and things. But you know what was really intense? I think the most intense part was it wasn't just the live session tuning in with everybody. It was the replays afterwards. And I was like very deeply into the zone. So this is all an experiment. I'm loving it. It was fun. I needed like some extra self-care, and we got through it. And it was nothing crazy or wild or traumatic, but it's just something that I'm acknowledging because this is an experiment. Because we're here to explore together. I'm offering you also transparency of what my experience might be like on this end, so we can share back and forth and see what we notice. Hey, Ryan, welcome. Ozone Mama, welcome. Snare Womb, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Say hi in the chat if you're popping in. So, yeah, I want to have transparency on both ends. Welcome, Teddy Bays. So we can explore this and see what happens from it. You know, like the only person I've seen doing this is my teacher, and she's like a heavy duty badass mama jamma, you know, and she does it. She was doing it weekly for a while, and I was like, I have a lot of experience. I can do this. So here we're going for it. There's no rules, you know. So if this is your first time, welcome. Hello, Taz. Thank you for joining. We're going to be doing a bit of a part sound, part just really tuning into your body. I want you to tune into your body and notice what you notice. So part of this offering is to help to cultivate deep awareness. So we can really experience what it feels like to really be in our bodies. And that can be, hey, Carrie, that can be a little bit jarring or scary. For some people, it could be intimidating. Some of us aren't used to really like working with our bodies in that way, touching ourselves, noticing where there's pain and what that might mean, and how we can work with our systems to bring attention to those different body sensations so that your body gets the information. Oh, I'm going to work here now. So we're cultivating deep awareness so that we can get to this place where we start to notice things that are triggering us in our daily life, to notice when we're stepping into stress that is unnecessary, that we can develop tools to manage those things, to create space. So when we're cultivating deep awareness, we start to notice our personal patterns. Eventually, we also start to notice the patterns of others as well, which is like a whole other can of worms. So right now we're focusing on us and our individual patterns, things that might come up in our body or emotions, or intellectually, if you notice that your brain is going wild and spinning out of control, thinking about the future or, the past, worrying, this is information. Okay, so there's no judgment about any of this. This is information, and it's good information to have because it's empowering. When you have the awareness, then you notice the patterns, you have the information, right? So then when it happens again, instead of feeling bad about it, oh, I reacted the wrong way to this thing that always gets my goat. Instead of feeling bad about it, yeah, journal it. Great, Carrie. Journal it, make a note of it, really sit with it and ask yourself, has this happened to me before? What times in my life have patterns like this arisen? What was I doing that made me feel that way? How did I manage it? Who was there? Right? So we want to get curious and we want to be open. We want to be very open. We want to be open to ourselves, the world, our community, our relationships. We want to have boundaries, but we want to feel open to be ourselves. And that's part of what this session is about today. We're talking about the magnet and we're talking about the flame. So we're talking about will and radiance. And these things to me are intrinsically tied into, that's great, Carrie. No judgment, just evidence is a very good way to put that. Yeah, super good. You're not judging. We're observing, we're noticing what we're noticing, and we're making a note of it for next time. Because if we notice a pattern, then we have good information and we can start implementing things to create space. We want to create a buffer between the thing that is taking us from 0 to 100 and our reaction to it. That space in between, that has to be cultivated. That has to be created through deep awareness and open, curious observation of ourselves, right? So we're talking about desire. We're talking about the magnet and the flame. To me, when I think about these things, I'm thinking, well, when I think of the flame, I'm thinking of like the solar plexus area. So the solar plexus, if you take your fingers, like 2 or 3 fingers, and you put them above your belly button, then you're looking at your solar plexus at the top there. So you got your belly button, you got a couple fingers. So right around there is the solar plexus zone. What does that mean? What is the solar plexus? So we might call it a chakra. A wheel, a spinning wheel of energy, like a vortex. And you can see it as a unidirectional vortex or a bidirectional vortex. Another way to look at this from more of a scientific perspective would be thinking about the nerve plexes, and that's kind of why we have these energy systems in the body. You'll find that there's consistently a pattern of like these nerve zones in the central channel of your body. So we have a lot of different chakras, nerve plexes, groupings. We have major chakras or energy centers, and we have minor energy centers. The solar plexus is going to be more of a major, and it's even more major for many reasons, which I'll share with you. So when I work in the solar plexus, I'm usually finding patterns of related to our willpower and our ego and our relationship with ourself and how we achieve things and how we feel about our achievements. Sometimes in this space, we also And I personally attribute this to morphic resonance, but in the solar plexus, we actually have on the right side. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, the right side of your body is your masculine side, and then the left side is going to be your feminine side. So, on the right side, we have typically more of the masculine patterns. You could hypothesize that. And off of the solar plexus, we're looking at the right side being more patterns to do with your father's lineage. But what's really super interesting about this is that in biofield tuning, which is what I'm certified in and practicing in, we're specifically looking at it doesn't really occur in other places in the field, except for off the solar plexus. We're looking at relationships directly with your father off the right side of the solar plexus, and relationships directly with the mother on the other side. So the left side is the mother's side. So we're not only looking at this, but we're also observing sometimes patterns come up related to anger on the father's side. Directly off the solar plexus can be where we might hold patterns of anger. And these could be things that are passed down through our lineage that we pick up through morphic resonance in our DNA. And then on the left side for the mother, we're having more like helplessness is typically the pattern that comes off of the left side. So energetically, this is something that we observe happening all the time. These things are presenting. But you also have ancestral rivers on either side of your body, regardless of the solar plexus. You have these rivers of energy, and they're bi-directional, so they flow up and down depending on the information you're getting. If you're looking at something related to your grandmother, for instance, then the river is flowing one way. If you're looking towards your child, then the river is flowing another way. And sometimes it presents and sometimes it doesn't. And when it does, it usually grabs the tuning fork and I can't really move. And so I'll hang out there and listen in and see what information wants to come from that river of energy from the ancestors. But in the solar plexus, we literally have mother and father zones on either side, which is very interesting because, for me anyway, we're looking at a lot of organ activity in that area. So to answer your question in chat, we're not looking at the diaphragm when we're looking at the solar plexus, though the diaphragm can be it can be affected heavily from the energies of the solar plexus, like holding breath and not getting those full breaths, tensing because there's a lot of anxiety hanging out there, which I'll get to. I want to touch on this organ piece because it's super interesting and it's going to lead into the anxiety. And then I'll try and pull this all together and tell you where I'm going with it. So the solar plexus has all this amazing information about our willpower, our ego, how we feel about our achievements. It has information related to the morphic resonance of our lineage. We literally have those mother-father zones. There's either anger or helplessness locked in there potentially for some people. But the solar plexus itself is hanging out in a soup of a bunch of organs, right? And so you sometimes will get like organ information presenting, so we can work with that. And one of the reasons that anxiety can really show up in the solar plexus, and it can show up too for women who have hormonal issues, need help balancing their hormones, because everything feeds into each other for the most part through these organs. So we're looking at the adrenals. The adrenals are hanging out in that solar plexus area. Okay, so they're on the kidney. They're hanging out. And these guys are kind of responsible for like our fight or flight patterns, which is pretty intense. It has a lot to do directly tied to the nervous system and how chill or unchill we feel, generally speaking. So we want to build the energy in this space in a very empowered and grounded way. We want to stoke the flame of the solar plexus. We want to build it. This is our hearth. This is our body's energetic hearth. So it's very important. The anxiety that I mentioned, it can drain the adrenals. It can throw the rhythm of the adrenals off, and it can cause a kerfuffle for the systems of your body that can have detrimental effects and further down in age, as some of us may be getting. So we want to make sure we're paying attention to these things. We're not judging anything, and we're not feeling bad about anything. We're just making notes, and we're staying aware and curious, right? So we're all here because we're curious. We want to learn, and we want to receive some relaxation, which we're getting to. So I wanted to touch on the solar plexus a little bit because it's a very complicated zone, and we are going to be working with that. And I want to not only stoke the hearth, but I also want to connect it with the energetic heart. Okay, so energetic heart would be center of the chest. And I was recently on Ryan's channel, and we were talking about some of this stuff briefly. And I was worried that I had misspoke about the electromagnetic field of the heart. So I was looking into it to make sure that I had given accurate information. And I did, but there is a thing. So when we're talking about the energetic heart, there's this incredible scientifically backed phenomenon with the electromagnetic field of the heart. It is like the largest magnet of your body. In magic, we use it to draw things to us. We use our will through that solar plexus, and then we build the magnet of the heart so that we can draw our desires to us. Okay, so this is the magic that we're doing today. Hey, Kike, nice to see you. Sending lots of love. So we're drawing it to us through the magnet of the heart. Why is the heart so powerful? Apart from just being this amazing muscle that pumps blood through our body and keeps us alive, it also has a massive electromagnetic field. So the standing field, like the typical presumption, the standing size of the electromagnetic field of the heart is about 3 feet in all directions, which is pretty big. But when we're looking at the aura field or the biofield, we're looking at about 5 feet in every direction, which is bigger. And on Ryan's show, I had said like the heart is the biggest electromagnetic field, even bigger than the biofield, which could be broken down in a few different ways. I could explain it differently. But actually, it says here that research data, and I'm reading from Heart Math Institute, so this is scientific data. The field can actually not only be about 3 feet in every direction, but it can extend to about 8 to 10 feet. Okay, but 3 feet is the most measurable and reproducible range. So sciencey stuff using magnetometers. Yeah, exactly, Teddy. Toroidal electromagnetic. Your biofield is the shape of a torus. It is a toroidal field. So you can see that, you can envision it like an apple sliced down the center. So you see the core and it kind of like heart shapes out of the top and down the bottom. And so you can envision it that way. Yeah, it can get huge. It can get huge. Heart Math Institute is saying like, well, we can determine predictably that 3 feet in every direction is, like the standard, but it can get huge. And you know what? It can get, in my opinion, my voodoo hypothesis or whatever you want to call it is that it can get even bigger than that. I think that our heart field, if we work with it, can shoot to the moon. I'm telling you, it is very, very powerful. So yeah. Yep. Cardiod or cardioid? Cardiovascular. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, so I'm going to read a little more heart math data and then we'll start doing something relaxing. We'll have a very brief, relaxing session. But I feel like this is really important for us to understand as we continue to do these sessions and we build some of our knowledge base, and we are also building some of our really grounded, centered, deepened personal awareness. These things might come in here and there, and you might have like little aha moments or something can really start to connect for you. So I just want to share this with everybody, everyone who's watching live and also on the replay. This is for everybody. So I set an intention that when we start doing the sound and energy work, this is for everybody who comes here, and you are in the hologram. So if you are here now or in the future or in the past or wherever you are, this is for you. So you are in the field. Okay, so heart math. This is key heart math data. The heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. You can also call that an EM field. It's 5,000 times more powerful electrically than your brain. Yeah, cardioid. Gotcha. So everyone's about the brain, right? Brain this, brain that. Your brain is a reptilian computing device that is basically just to keep you alive or from burning yourself. You know what I'm saying? The heart is where it's at. The heart is the magnet. The heart is the magnet. The heart is the magnet. I want you to think about it. Magnetically, it's about 100 times stronger than the brain's magnetic field. Heart rhythms affect brain function. When your heart is in a state of coherence, smooth, harmonious rhythms, your brain functions better. Cognition, emotional regulation, and decision making, they all improve. Science and woo-woo hand in hand is right, Taz. That's why I love this work, because it is backed by science now. This is not just waving magic wands in the air as much as I like to pretend it is. There's science behind everything that we're doing here, and I'm not just making this stuff up. So I'll skip the rest of this because it's really not as critical to our purposes today, but I think that's pretty powerful information. So thank you for letting me share some of this with you. It's really important to me that when we work together, we are like, this isn't about me sitting here and performing for you. This is about us doing something really special together. So I like sharing some of the data and information as well, so that we can get on the same page and are not thinking like, whatever, in the back of your head, like, what's the science? Like, I want to share what I can share with you. And if I don't know it, I'll go find it. Just ask me. I'll show you really quickly, because we were talking about the toroidal shape of the biofield. So some people call it an aura, but in biofield tuning, we use the term biofield because it sounds less woo and it's more sciencey. So this is more or less like what a biofield map looks like. And you see how it looks like an apple cut in half, and then you're the core. So this is your central channel. And then this is the outer edge of your field. And this is a double layer membrane, and it's bidirectional. So it's going down and up at the same time, all the time. And your chakras, or your energy centers, the major ones here, they're all in the center through that central channel, that bidirectional spiraling current of energy. And your solar plexus is right here, your hearth, and your heart, the magnet. So what I'd like to do is just start by taking a few nice deep breaths. And I'll guide you through a little bit of relaxation. If you are already laying in bed, then do your thing, okay? Get nice and cozy. You can sit up. If you're at a desk, that's fine. Just try and be somewhere where you're really not going to be disturbed, and where you can get in your zone and breathe without feeling weird about it. You know what I mean? Let's see. I'm just setting up my screen if I can do it. I did it. Okay. Make myself small and give you a nice candle if you like a focal point. So wherever you are resting, uncross your legs if you are seated. Take off your shoes if you are wearing them. Come into a comfortable position. If you need to get up and go tinkle or get a water or anything, you're not going to ruin something by moving. But I do want you to feel relaxed. So find your cozy, comfy spot. And then just start by taking a nice deep breath and ask yourself how you're feeling. Notice what the breath feels like. So inhale in your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Check in with yourself. I personally love a dramatic exhale, and it doesn't have to be as like yummy and yawny as that. However, there is a specific type of breathing that we do when we notice tension arising in the body. If you notice you're holding your breath or tensing up, that probably means that something is moving and you're kind of holding on to it. So nice inhale through your nose, filling your belly with air, exhaling out of your mouth to discharge. You're sending a message through the breath that we're releasing. Okay, so on this next inhale, feel free to just breathe normal in the nose, out the nose until I signal you to breathe again, because I'll be explaining. I don't want you to feel like you're suffocating. So this next inhale we're going to do together, we're going to pull the breath down through the top of your head, and we're going to pull it down into your belly and fill your belly with air. And then on the exhale, we are going to exhale out the mouth, but we're going to visualize that exhalation going down, down, down toward the tailbone. It can exit the tailbone. It can exit the bottom of the feet. But I really like you to use your powers of visualization to visualize that exhalation going down into the earth. I want you to give it to the earth. I want you to connect to the earth, connect to the Schumann resonance, connect to that delicious frequency. Give everything that needs to release and discharge the static, the dysregulation, give it to the earth. So let's try this together. Inhale through the top of the head, filling the belly, and then exhale. Very good. So on this next inhalation, we're going to bring that breath through the top of the head. We're going to connect the breath into your seat. And as you exhale, I want you to really sense into what the connection between your seat and your feet feel like. I want you to feel yourself now, before we do this breath together, feel yourself sitting where you are or reclining. Sense into your seat, your butt, and your legs and feet. Feel that connection. If you can't feel that connection super clear, I want you to make a point of really feeling into it on your exhale. So let's inhale through your nose, filling your belly with air. Check in with yourself and see if you made a more clear connection between your seat and your feet. You can do one more just like that. Good. You can visualize that exhale dropping down like an anchor into the earth. You can visualize it dropping heavily as far down into the earth as it can go, and really connecting an anchor, anchoring in the signal of the Schumann resonance, feeding your body that beautiful frequency. It's the resting frequency of the earth. It makes our bodies feel very happy, and it supports life on our planet, the Schumann resonance. So we'll do one more breath like that. Down to the head, into the belly. Exhale. Connect. Ground into the earth. Good. So we're going to do 3 in the other direction. We're going to be breathing up from the earth. We're going to be pulling up. We're connected. We're grounded. We're feeling more relaxed. We're going to pull our inhalation up through the legs into your belly. And the exhale is going to bring itself up through your neck, your head, and exit through the crown of your head, showering out and around your field. Good. So you can do 2 more just like that. I'm going to activate a 222 hertz fork while you do. If you notice tension or that you're holding your breath, go ahead and take a nice deep breath and exhale it, give it back to the earth. Exhaling through your mouth. You can visualize your breath as you pull it up through the central channel. You can visualize it as a spiraling and a swirling of beautiful, radiant light. That is your light. That belongs to you, that is always there, and it's always spiraling. You can visualize the energy. You can really tune into it and connect with it. For the purposes of this session, we can go into a general in through the nose, out through the mouth breath, grounding down into the earth if you notice tension or like you're holding your breath. This is a really good exercise for cultivating deeper awareness, just being aware that you have tension and that you're holding it and noticing where it is. So make a note if you want to, where it is, but just allow it to do what it needs to do. You don't have to force anything to happen. Keep breathing. Just give things permission to go where they need to go. Your body, believe it or not, has its own divine intelligence that will not steer you wrong. It will always do what it has to do to guide you and protect you and heal you when we create the space and the atmosphere for healing to take place. When we step out of stress and into relaxation, then our body can say, let's get to work. So if you notice, exhale at the mouth. You can also refer back to just normal in the nose, out the nose breathing. Maybe you feel like wiggling. Maybe you just need to shake it out a little bit. Maybe you want to stand up and move or shift. Whatever you're feeling is totally normal. Just notice what you're noticing and do what needs to happen. For anyone out there who has been experiencing a lot of, how do I want to say this? High strung stress. If you're listening right now and you have been in a state of high strung stress today, yesterday, chronically, you haven't been able to get a grip on it, and you've kind of been struggling with managing things day to day because of this ever running kind of frequency. If that is you, I want you to really take a nice deep breath and really pay attention to your breath. If you're holding it or holding tension, I really want you to just be aware of it and use that breath to support you, to guide things where they want to go. If the breath isn't doing it, then I invite you to make a noise. If you're somewhere where you feel confident and safe making noises without freaking people out, then go for it. Sometimes people want to scream, sometimes they want to sing, sometimes they just want to sigh and make a nice noise. And that can really open up some space for flow. So if that is you, I'm picking up on something and I just want to touch base and let you know this is going to help with that. And you're okay. You're not alone. You just got to really support yourself. Keep that awareness, move it from up here into your head space and pull it down into your body, okay? Pull it down into the support system of your root system. Pull it down to your knees, to your feet, and allow that to just, whatever you don't need to hold on to, whatever kerfuffle's going on, just let it exhale itself into the earth. Give it back to the earth. The earth knows what to do with all of that static. Nice. Strong work. Good. Okay. I'm going to switch inputs from this 222 and I'm going to move to, what do I want to do? What do we want to do? 144. Yeah, we're going to use this 144. It's more of a structural kind of frequency. Just let it go. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be right now. There's nowhere else. Good. Safe, supported. It's okay if you can't focus It's okay if you can't focus. You don't, your job right now is not to focus on anything. Your job is just to be connected with what we're doing. Take a nice deep breath. Let's get out of our heads and pull ourselves back into our bodies, okay? You don't owe me anything, but you owe yourself everything. So if you're committed to receiving this, you're going to receive it regardless of if you're having a hard time focusing. It's totally okay. Ooh. Okay. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Filling the belly. Exhaling down the lower body, giving that breath to the earth. Okay, I'm going to get another fork so I can tune into whatever this is that's presenting. I use a 174 hertz. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, we're going to sit with this for just a moment. What I'm picking up on, though, seems to be more like, okay, it's like a stifled anger, like liver energy. I just want to sit with it. Like restriction is living here. So we're moving into the solar plexus if we're experiencing this restriction in here. Remember your breath. Good. Good. Okay. Whew. Nice deep breath. There's this tension. The fork should sound very bright and open. You may hear, it's okay if you don't, you may hear that it's kind of restricted. And I'm focusing on the solar plexus energy. I'm feeling in my own solar plexus, there's kind of like a weird, nervous energy happening here. And I think a lot of us do feel held back. I mean, there's always going to be something that's going to get in the way if we let it, and if we let it present in that way. And it really can be a matter of how we see things. We can see things as holding us back. Sometimes those things that we think are holding us back are simply things that aren't right for us in the first place. And it's like a message being received, like, hey, it's time to reassess. We're not only reassessing what we're doing, we're reassessing why we are doing it. We're cultivating deep, deep, hard, cracking truth awareness so we can ask those questions. Why do I feel this way? Why am I doing this? When did I start doing this? And when did it stop serving me? Did I even notice? Have I just continued doing this thing that is not helping me at all because it's a habit and I'm used to it? we need to ask these questions, okay? We need to bring awareness to our truth and ourselves so that we can have a deeper knowing and understanding and also a greater connection, okay? We want to be connected. We want to be connected to the cosmos. We want to be supported. We want to be a part of that cosmic energy because you are, and you can't not be. But sometimes I think we get in our own way. So I want to invite you that if you're experiencing something like this, where like, I've been trying this for so long, why isn't it happening the way that I imagined it would happen? Maybe ask yourself when you decided that that was the thing you were going to do, and if that still works for you, or if maybe it was just an entry point to get you to stretch, to expand, to meet more of yourself. Because those initial ideas are not going to meet you where you've expanded to all the time. Sometimes they fade out, sometimes you outgrow them. Okay, so just use your awareness. If that resonates with you, good. Okay, nice. Whew. Lots of stuff moving in the belly zone. Lots of sensations. Maybe you want to move, or you can put your hand, if you're feeling something, you can use your hands and just rest them on your body. Notice what you notice. Good. So the solar plexus has this very interesting connection with the sun, believe it or not. Your field has a positive and a negative portal, much like a battery does. So we've got the negative terminal at the feet and the Earth star, and the positive terminal in the sun star above the head. So when we are imagining this bidirectional flow of swirling, beautiful light that is constantly going through our central channel, we are pulling down on that downward descending current. We're pulling down energy from the sun, okay? We're pulling down solar energy. And this energy feeds into the battery pack of the solar plexus. So we can do a couple breaths together and visualize. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, the sun exists and it hasn't disappeared if it's nighttime. We're going to pull down the solar energy through the crown of your head, pulling it down the central channel, and we're going to charge up the solar plexus. We're going to do a little bit of a visualization. So this whole solar zone around the belly, you can also envision it as like a 360-degree belt of energy that hangs out there. It's like it's part of our battery pack. So we're charging it, we're visualizing, we're using our imagination, we are pulling it. You can picture the color, you can picture how dim or how bright it is. Saying a lot of love to you, Brian. Good night. Ryan's falling asleep because he's so relaxed. We're going to visualize whatever details you can visualize about this light, the solar energy coming down, filling up the battery pack of the solar plexus. So we can do 3 breaths here. I'll grab a 222 fork. Okay, so we're going to be inhaling from the earth. Okay, so I'm sorry. No, we aren't. We're inhaling from above our head, like I said. Pulling that down into the solar plexus. And we're going to try and build that fire of the hearth. We're going to build it in a couple breaths here. On the exhale, you're still discharging down through your feet into the earth. But all that good, jazzy goodness is going to be hanging out in your hearth of the solar plexus. Okay. Nice inhale, filling your belly. Another. Good again. I feel like we want to do one more, so we're going to do another one. Okay, good. So if you feel like you need to take another 1 or 2 of those breaths to really build your power and build your spark, go for it. But I want to invite you to really consider what it looks like for you, what it feels like. What color is your flame? How radiant is it? How bright is it? It doesn't have to be blindingly blasting. If it isn't, that's totally fine. We're not judging who has the brightest flame here. I just want you to notice it and observe what's happening within you so that you have the data. This is our will center. It's a very, very important zone. So having awareness of what's happening in this space is crucial if you are planning to create and you want to do it from a strong position of your personal will without feeling so watery that you step into other people's expectations or second guessing yourself because you don't trust your will. So we're building the flame. We're stoking the fires of the hearth. Now, I'm going to keep going because I want us to move to the heart just for a moment. And we'll check in. So remember your breath. So thought forms and patterns of the heart. They can be a little bit heavy. We have patterns on the right side of your heart in the field related to okay, everybody take a nice deep breath. Good. another one. Nice deep breath. Things can feel heavy sometimes. We don't have to stay stuck in it. We can allow release. We can experience release. We can sit with our grief. We can go through every stage until we feel integrated. Okay? There's no right way to do any of it. There's just your way. And that's the way that is okay. Okay. So I was saying, nice. The right side of the heart, off in the field, you're going to get information related to thought forms and patterns of saying yes when we mean no. This comes from the heart because we want to please and we want to do good. We want to be of service. Everybody wants to be helpful and be of service, right? Especially when we're kids. And these patterns can kind of get created and we start like zombily performing them for the rest of our lives, basically, because no one has been able to step in and say, hey, you don't have to do it this way. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to have boundaries. Boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges. People feel guilty about saying no when they need to say no. And people think that saying no is a barrier to their heart. But it's a bridge. You're extending a part of yourself that is sacred and beautiful, your personal limitations, what you will and will not stand for. And there is a way to do this with integrity and grace. There's a way to do this with grace. I think I probably say this too much, but when we first learn how to say no and mean it, it feels bad sometimes to some people. It feels bad. Like, oh God, I just said no. Take a nice deep breath. Good. But the more that we stay devoted to our truth and to ourselves, you guys, the more we sit with it being okay to have our personal preferences, to have boundaries, and even to have bridges that we don't cross. That's okay. In time and practice of doing this, you might feel like you're shouting when you're just saying no. It might feel so loud in your head and you might ruminate over it. Take a nice deep breath. Give it to the earth. You might ruminate. You might get stuck in your head and think like, how dare I? What right do I have? Because of programming. But we need to shine. We need to shine bright. We need to stoke the hearth. We need to have the solar plexus, our will center, strong. We need to be strong, okay? We can't support the people in our lives that we want to support when we overextend ourselves, and we cannot support them if we ourselves are not strong. We will think that we're doing good things, and we could be doing detrimental things to both ourselves and other people. We need to come from truth, and we need to come from heart. So boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges. And the more you practice feeling what your sweet spot is, then the easier it gets. And the more you're able to do this from a place of Venusian grace, okay? From grace. Feeling confident too. Like, even if someone got mad at me for saying no right now, it wouldn't make me feel bad. This is my boundary. This is where I'm coming from. This is what I will and won't stand for. Okay, so if that resonated with you, wonderful. Let's continue. Take a nice deep breath. still tuning into the collective heart space of the group, both live and literally any other time. Okay, so we're all here together. We're tuning into a collective field. So things that are coming up can be things that a lot of us are feeling. Sometimes it's like one person who's really feeling it really intensely. So I want to focus on these things when they arise so that we can bring awareness to them, because that empowers us to shift these energies just through realizing that it is connected in with us in some way. Okay. On the left side of the heart, typically we have patterns related to grief, sadness, loss, depression, the real, deep, very real feelings that we experience as humans. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, if you're feeling emotions coming up, I want you to allow yourself to experience them, please. Holding on to that, it's not going to give the message of let's work through it. We want to work through it. So we want to allow release when we can, when it feels safe to release. We're not judging anything. We're just using awareness and allowing things to find their level. Okay, so let's all take a nice breath. We're going to be pulling the breath down from the crown at the top of the head, through the central channel, past the solar plexus, connecting with the lower body and really getting into the seat and legs and feet. Exhaling out of the mouth and allowing that breath to connect with Mother Earth, to receive. She's going to receive from you. She knows what to do with it. She can empower this energy, so we give it back to her. Good, very good. If you feel some relief from that, feel free to do it again. Nice deep inhale into the belly, connecting to the lower body on the exhale. Give it back to the earth. Very good. So also the heart, we have this other spot that's like kind of in the armpit, and this is more of our world pain zone. So where we have sadness, loss, grief, and depression that can exist out into the field, that can manifest in the body, we actually have a zone around this like almost armpit area that represents world pain, and we can hold some energy there too. And I know the world is crazy and we all have a million thoughts about a million things, but for the purposes of right now, let's really focus on taking whatever is hanging out there that isn't doing us any good, the charge of it, the kerfuffle, the tangle. Okay, so these tangles that I'm referencing, you can imagine your light, which you want, being tangled up in these like tendrils from patterns and things. They can get kind of stuck. So we want to free this light so it can return back to us in circulation. That's a part of us. It's literally your biophotons, literally your light. We want to liberate it so it can go back into the system and work for us, right? So feel free to allow yourself to process whatever you need to process in these next few activations of the fork. Definitely keep up with your breathing if you're feeling emotional or tense. You guys are doing good. You'll hear the tone is starting to brighten and clear. It was feeling very like heavy, right? Good. So when we're using tuning forks, we're listening to the undertones and overtones, and that's the information that we're getting. Good, really good. Good. Yeah, it is feeling lighter. Yes. Good. Now, I can certainly still hear some of this in the tones of the fork, but we've gotten past this heavy, dense space and we've moved into more of a brightening tone. I'll do a few more activations here. Nice. Remember your breathing. Oh, I don't like that one. There we go. Oof. Things are moving. You guys feel it, and I'm feeling like a big, warm, like release through the chest and throat. Much lighter. Nice. Okay, good. Beautiful. I'm gonna grab another input. Oh, this one's actually 528. Okay, one more with that. Doesn't that feel good? Ooh, yeah. Strong work, guys. That was really nice. Okay, very good. I want you to just check in with your heart space. And don't forget you have hands. So if you feel like you want to put them on your heart, if you experienced any kind of strong emotions during that work, I might even invite you to have a hand on your heart and a hand on your forehead. You can stack hands on your heart if that feels good for you. Okay, and I would never unleash you guys back into the world unless I gave you some tools. The heart's not always super easy to work in because of the things that it can hold for us. If you start to feel really intense or stressed out, overcome by emotion, there's a couple things that you can do using your own body that are very simple and gentle that will help to support you in returning back to a calm, resting state for your nervous system. Okay, and a lot of these are actually on your face and head, but you can also do them like, standing in the line at the grocery store without looking like a total freak by putting hands on your ribs here on either side. Those are parts of the spleen meridian. So you can give yourself a nice hug. Everybody wants to try this. Cross your arms over your solar plexus with a hand on either side of the rib cage. And if you want to, you can close your eyes. You don't have to, but we can, if we're comfortable and safe, we can close our eyes and take a nice deep breath. You can do resting breath. Sometimes it feels good to rock like a baby when you're doing this. Really comforting. This takes it down a notch, helps us rest, find your rhythm. Real good. Yeah, this work can change the temperature, typically hotter, at least by 5 degrees, sometimes more. I'm sweating right now. It's crazy. I have a light, but it's not hot. I usually get pretty sweaty doing this. For you in the chat. Good. So when you feel complete with your hug, you can release it. You can rub your hands together. You can shake them off. If you're at home and feeling stressed out or overwhelmed, you can use your hands on your head. So one hand on the front of the forehead, other hand in the back of the head. The polarity of your hands, if you want to try this with me, if you want to, polarity of your hands works with points in your head. It's very comforting. Can take that nervous system down, especially if you're not wearing glasses like me and you can get your hand over the third eye space. There's a real great spot there. Good. Take a nice breath. When you feel complete, you can release that. And you can shake it off when you're ready. I'll have a sip of tea. Good. So now go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes, rub your hands together, bring yourself back into the room a bit. You can flutter your eyes gently open with a low gaze if they were closed. Good. Notice how you're feeling. And take your time coming back. Typically, I try and keep these at about an hour, but it's pretty intense working in both of those spaces. So I want to spend a little extra time. And I would really love to hear from you guys Excuse me. If you want to continue working in a specific area, specific themes, the reason that we are working in the spaces that we are working at now is because I find them to be incredibly important. Our last session, we really worked on focusing on getting back into our bodies and grounding through our lower bodies, grounding into our root system, so we feel foundationally secure and strong. And as we're entering this new space, this shift in energy and the summer solstice, I think it'd be really beautiful if we could carry ourselves through that gateway with a fire burning and our magnet, our heart locked in, like feeling like we can take on what we need to take on in life, feeling really good about it too, how we feel about it. So, in the future, if there's something you guys would like to do, we can definitely talk about it. But I would love direction, so please feel free to share that with me. So if anybody has come back into the room, feel free to pop in chat. You don't have to. Yeah, I'm glad that you're feeling lighter. Okay, good, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pop off for the night, but I will see you next month for the next Dreaming Temple session. And I'm trying to think of other content we can do throughout the month too that won't be so intense on my personal energies. But I think this was like a nice, good session for today. You are so welcome, Teddy Base. D-Love, welcome. I'm so glad that you made it. You can always do the replay and still get the benefits from the replay as well. Okay, good question, Taz. Where would you prefer we post input to you? Yeah, you could comment on the video. You can, if you're in one of the Discords, you can DM me, or I just want to hear from you guys and hear your thoughts, because my practice is one thing, but I want to provide a service to our community, and that's you. So I'd like to hear what you are experiencing and what you would like to experience more of, But I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming. And I hope that you have the most beautiful evening. I want to remind everybody, drink extra water, salt your water. Don't drink filtered water without some kind of remineralization. I don't recommend using table salt. Himalayan's fine. It's not the best. I would recommend getting something like Redmond's and just putting a little, putting a little sprinkle in your filtered water, and stay extra hydrated, okay? Because the work we're doing is on a cellular level. You want to flush it out, okay? If anybody experiences, which I don't think you will, anything intense post-session, you're always welcome to reach out to me, okay? So if you would like to, it sounds like Teddy Base is going to be going live. And like Teddy says, stay hydrated, stay healthy, and stay happy. And maybe we'll hop over to Teddy's stream soon. And I'll see you guys soon.